Have you ever woken up from a dream, heart racing, breathing fast, your body reacting as if something terrible just happened, and for a few seconds, you're not even sure where you are? Your brain feels like it just relived something. That experience isn't random. Every single night, your brain performs a quiet kind of therapy. It waits for you to fall asleep. It waits for your body to go still. And then, during a very specific phase of sleep, it opens emotional memories, especially the painful ones. Its goal is simple: remove the fear, keep the memory, turn something that once hurt you into something you can simply remember. For most people, this system works beautifully, but after trauma, the brain opens the memory file, and the pain comes back exactly the same. The same memory, the same fear, night after night. Tonight on Sleep Curiouz, we're going deep into REM sleep, the brain's emotional repair system, to understand why trauma can trap it in an endless loop. And the strange part is, this process is happening in your brain every single night, whether you realize it or not. Think about a painful memory from years ago. Maybe an argument, maybe a breakup, maybe a moment that once felt humiliating or overwhelming. You can still remember it, but most of the time, it doesn't hurt the way it once did. That's not just time passing. That's your brain doing its job. Most people think REM sleep is simply dream time, random images, a neurological screensaver while the body rests. But the truth is much more fascinating. REM sleep is one of the most sophisticated emotional repair systems the human brain has ever evolved. Every night during REM sleep, your brain selectively reactivates emotional experiences from your life. Moments from the day, stressful conversations, embarrassing situations, unresolved worries, and it replays them. But something very important changes during this replay. During waking life, when you recall a stressful memory, your brain releases norepinephrine, one of the brain's primary stress chemicals. This chemical activates your survival system. It's why remembering something painful can make your heart race or your stomach tighten. But during REM sleep, something remarkable happens. Norepinephrine drops to almost zero. This creates a neurochemically safe environment. Dr. Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley calls this process overnight therapy. Your brain creates a safe space and then replays difficult memories inside that space. The memory remains, but the emotional charge slowly fades. Night after night, REM sleep doesn't erase painful memories. It performs emotional surgery, separating the event itself from the fear attached to it. When this system works, painful experiences eventually become something different. They become memories. But when this system breaks, memory stays trauma. If you've ever woken up from a nightmare with your heart pounding, or suddenly sat upright in bed at 3 in the morning, breathing hard, your brain may have just attempted this emotional repair process, and something went wrong. In 2001, researchers studying post-traumatic stress disorder discovered something surprising. In people with PTSD, norepinephrine does not drop during REM sleep. Let that sink in. The stress chemical remains active during the exact phase of sleep designed to process stress. The brain opens the memory file. It begins the replay. But instead of replaying the memory inside a calm environment, it replays it with the full emotional charge still attached. The amygdala fires, heart rate rises, the body enters fight or flight, all while the person is asleep. And the brain does what any system does when therapy becomes dangerous. It aborts the process. The REM cycle breaks. The person wakes up. The nightmare, the sudden jolt awake, the racing heart. But here's what makes trauma such a powerful loop. The memory was never processed. The emotional charge was never removed. So the next night, the brain tries again. It opens the same memory, encounters the same stress chemistry, re-experiences the same fear, and aborts again, night after night. Not because your brain wants to torture you, but because it is trying, relentlessly, to finish a job it cannot complete. Many trauma survivors describe something difficult to explain. It's not just the trauma itself. Everything feels heavier. Small stresses feel overwhelming. Minor frustrations trigger intense emotional reactions. It can feel like the emotional volume of life has been turned up too high. Sleep science offers a powerful explanation. Every day, your brain collects emotional experiences. Stress, fear, embarrassment, conflict. In healthy sleep, REM processes these emotions every night, like clearing an inbox. But when REM sleep becomes fragmented, that nightly processing stops, and the emotions begin to stack. A 2020 review in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that people with REM disruption gradually develop worsening emotional regulation. Not because new trauma occurs, but because the brain's nightly emotional maintenance system isn't working. Imagine receiving emails every day, but never having time to read or organize them. Eventually, the inbox becomes overwhelming. This is what happens inside the emotional brain. The trauma wasn't processed, and now everyday emotions aren't being processed either. The backlog grows until even small experiences begin to feel like too much. Sometimes trauma doesn't return as a thought. It returns as a sensation, a sudden tightness in the chest, a wave of panic, a stomach that drops for no obvious reason. Your body reacts before your mind understands why. During REM sleep, the brain doesn't only replay memories, it also replays physical responses. Your voluntary muscles are temporarily paralyzed during REM sleep, a state called REM atonia. This prevents you from physically acting out dreams, but the autonomic nervous system, heart rate, breathing, digestion, remains active, and it responds to the dream. In healthy REM sleep, these responses are mild, but when trauma memories replay in a stress-filled environment, the body reacts intensely. Heart rate surges, breathing becomes rapid, muscles tense. The entire nervous system re-enters the trauma response. Researchers believe repeated failed REM processing can strengthen the body's trauma imprint. Instead of weakening the memory, the brain accidentally reinforces it, night after night. This is why trauma sometimes feels stored not only in the mind, but in the body. Now here's the hopeful part. Trauma doesn't destroy the brain's healing system, it interrupts it. And modern neuroscience is learning how to restore it. One medication, called Prazosin, reduces the effects of norepinephrine during sleep. Clinical trials have shown it can dramatically reduce trauma nightmares and restore REM continuity. Once REM becomes safe again, the brain can finally finish the processing it has been trying to complete. Therapies may work through similar mechanisms. EMDR, a trauma treatment involving guided eye movements, appears to mimic aspects of REM processing while the person is awake. The therapy helps the brain revisit memories inside a safer emotional state. Image rehearsal therapy allows patients to rewrite recurring nightmares, giving the brain a new narrative to process during REM sleep. Across many approaches, one insight keeps emerging. Trauma doesn't break the brain. It interrupts the brain's repair cycle. And when that cycle is restored, healing begins. Every night, your brain opens the file. Every night, it tries again. If your sleep feels fragile, if your nights feel guarded, if your dreams keep returning to the same place, your brain is not broken. It is persistent, relentless, still trying to complete the work of healing. And when the conditions are right, it will finish what it started. Stay curious, sleep well.